The galaxy abandoned this giant warship. A human made it an ultimate superweapon. The outer rim of the galaxy was a place most civilizations avoided. Stars were distant, scattered, and cold. Planets were few, and many were barren, filled with storms that could strip metal from even the strongest ships. Yet here, among the forgotten dust of space, a legend floated silently, a warship so massive, so powerful, that entire civilizations once feared it. And then, centuries ago, it had vanished, abandoned, and left to drift in the darkness. Captain Alara Quinn stared at the holographic map of the outer rim in her small ship's control room. Her crew watched quietly, a mix of humans and aliens who trusted her judgment more than anyone else. "This is it," she said, pointing to a blinking dot on the map. "Coordinates from the old logs. The Titan!" The warship that even the Alliance abandoned. An alien crew member, a tall, thin creature with silver skin and multifaceted eyes, tilted its head. "You really believe it exists, human?" it asked. Its voice was calm, almost musical, but threaded with doubt.
"I don't just believe it exists," Ilara replied, her eyes shining with excitement. "I know it exists."
"And if we can find it, we might find something the rest of the galaxy forgot." The ship's engines hummed quietly as they jumped into the coordinates, weaving between small asteroid clusters and drifting debris fields. Space was silent here, broken only by the occasional ping of the ship's scanners. Hours passed. The crew worked in tense silence, checking systems, recalibrating sensors, and preparing for what they might find. The further they went, the darker space became, until even the faint light of distant stars felt cold and far away. Then, on the edge of the scanner's range, it appeared. It was massive. The ship's sensors nearly failed to read it at first. Shadows stretched across hundreds of kilometers, its hull scarred with centuries of neglect, yet somehow intact. Towers, turrets, and strange alien structures rose like frozen mountains across its surface. It was a ship built not just to fight, but to dominate entire star systems. Alara's heart raced. "There she is," she whispered. "The Titan! Abandoned! Waiting for us." Her co-pilot, a human named Jax, leaned forward in awe. "I've never seen anything like this. It's huge! Bigger than any station! Bigger than any capital ship! How did they even build it?" "That's exactly what I want to find out," Alara said, her voice steady but her mind buzzing with possibilities. "We board carefully, scan everything, and stay alert. This ship isn't just old metal. It's history, technology, and power, all in one. And I intend to understand it." The landing was difficult. The Titan was drifting slowly, and the crew had to match its trajectory carefully. Small drones scanned the surface, sending back images of enormous docking bays, giant hull sections, and alien glyphs that seemed to glow faintly, even in the darkness of space. When they finally entered the main hangar, the silence hit them like a physical force. The air inside the ship was stale but breathable, thanks to the ship's old life support system still humming faintly. Shadows danced along the walls, shaped by the light of the crew's suits. Every step echoed across vast metal corridors that stretched beyond the limits of their scanners. Alara led the way, her hand resting lightly on the universal translator device she had brought. "We move slowly," she said. "We don't know what this ship can do, but I have a feeling it's listening." Her crew laughed nervously. It was impossible, of course, but the feeling was real, electric, tense. Like the quiet before a storm. They reached the central core of the ship, a massive chamber that stretched hundreds of meters in every direction. In the center, a circular platform held a dormant control console, covered in alien symbols that pulsed faintly. Strange glowing conduits ran like veins across the floor, leading into the walls and disappearing into darkness. Alara approached carefully. Her fingers hovered over the controls. Something in her mind, intuition, curiosity, human instinct, told her that the ship would respond to humans differently than it had to aliens before. "Stand back," she said, her voice steady. "If this ship wants to be found, it'll know we're here. and we're not leaving without answers. She placed her hands on the console. Light flared.
The symbols beneath her fingers glowed brighter, then brighter still, until the entire chamber shone with alien energy. The crew stumbled backward, shielding their eyes.
Then a hum filled the room. Low at first, then growing louder, vibrating through the metal floors, through their suits, even into their bones. Jax's eyes widened. What is happening? Elara felt it more than she heard it. The ship was alive. Not alive in the way humans understood life, but aware. It was awakening, and it had recognized them. The alien diplomat and their crew, named Zyrith, took a cautious step forward. This is impossible. No one has ever woken it. It should be dead, abandoned for centuries. Elara shook her head. It's not dead. It's waiting. For someone like us. For humans. The ship seemed to respond to her words. Conduits pulsed faster. The air vibrated with energy. Small doors opened along the walls, revealing chambers filled with strange technology, weapons and control systems that had not been seen in any recorded archive. This is beyond anything I imagined, Jax whispered. It's more than a ship. It's a fortress. A weapon! Everything the galaxy feared. Elara's mind raced. If humans could understand and control this, if they could interface with its systems, the possibilities were endless. Entire conflicts could be ended, systems defended, or civilizations protected. But with such power came responsibility. She looked at her crew, each one staring in awe and fear. We have to explore carefully, learn its systems. Understand it. This ship is dangerous, but it can also be magnificent. And it's chosen us, whether the galaxy agrees or not. For hours, they explored. The ship's corridors seemed to shift subtly, like it was guiding them, showing them where to go. Alien machinery responded to human touch in ways it never did to others. Doors opened before they reached them. Lights adjusted automatically. It was as if the ship recognized their minds, their instincts, their humanity. At the far end of the central corridor, they found a massive chamber labeled in alien script that translated roughly to Core of Power. Inside, an enormous sphere of glowing energy floated above the floor, pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. Elara approached it, her hands trembling slightly, not from fear but from awe. This, she whispered, is what they built the ship for. This is the heart of the Titan! Suddenly, a warning flashed across her portable scanner. Something was moving outside the ship. Small vessels, or maybe automated defense drones, approaching fast. The outer rim wasn't as empty as they thought. Bah! Elara turned to her crew. We've been found! Whatever's out there, it's coming for the ship. We have to prepare. But remember this. We're not here to fight blindly. We're here to understand, to learn, and to prove that humans belong here. The ship's energy pulsed in response, almost as if acknowledging her words. The central core hummed louder, filling the chamber with warmth and light. Elara stepped back and took a deep breath. The Titan is awake, and it's waiting for us to decide what comes next. Outside, the stars shone cold and distant. But inside, humanity's spark, curiosity, courage, ingenuity, burned brighter than any supernova. And the galaxy, long convinced that humans were just one more species among many, was about to see that those who built and controlled the ultimate superweapon were far more than ordinary. The abandoned Titan was no longer silent. It had a new crew, a new purpose, and a new story to tell. Elara smiled, her eyes reflecting the glow of the core. Let's find out what humans are really capable of. The Titan hummed with life. Its corridors no longer felt like empty tombs. Instead, they thrummed with energy, as if the ship itself breathed. Captain Elara Quinn walked through the glowing hallways, her mind racing. She had felt the pulse of the ship's heart earlier, but now its full potential seemed to whisper promises of power, danger, and discovery. Her crew followed,
awe and unease mixed in their expressions. Jax, her co-pilot, kept glancing at the walls. "I still can't believe this is real," he said.
It's like the ship is alive.
"And it likes us." Alara smiled faintly.
Not likes, Jax? Recognizes.
"It responds to humans. I don't know why, but it does, and that makes all the difference." Zyrith, the silver-skinned alien diplomat, stepped carefully beside them. "This is dangerous, human."
This ship, no species should ever control something like this. Do you understand what you are dealing with?
"I do," Ilara replied firmly.
But humans have always taken risks that others wouldn't. That's why we survive. That's why we adapt. This ship, this weapon, it's showing me that humans are meant to work with it.
Discovery of the superweapon, they reached the main command center. The room was enormous, bigger than any capital ship bridge they had seen. Panels of alien technology lined the walls, pulsing with energy. In the center, a holographic display of the galaxy lit up, stars and planets connected by faint lines of energy. Elara stepped forward and touched one of the panels. The lights shifted and changed under her fingers. The ship responded instantly, adjusting its systems, mapping out energy flows and opening hidden compartments. Jax's eyes widened.
What is all this? Weapons? Shields? This ship could wipe out fleets, whole planets. Exactly,
Ilara said, her voice calm.
And we haven't even begun to understand how it works. She activated a small console, sending probes through the ship's systems.
Streams of data poured in, translating alien symbols into understandable terms. Slowly, the crew realized the Titan was more than a warship. It was a mobile superweapon capable of harnessing stellar energy to unleash attacks of unimaginable scale.
It can draw power directly from stars, Elara said. It can amplify that energy into weapons, shields, and defensive systems.
It's the ultimate weapon, and humans can operate it because our minds adapt to its systems in ways other species cannot.
Zyrith looked shocked. "You're saying humans can control what the entire galaxy abandoned?" Alara nodded. "Not just control it.
Understand it, use it responsibly. That's the key difference. First test, the crew decided to run a test. Not offensive, just activation of some systems to see how they responded. Alara connected herself directly to the main console using a neural interface she had developed over years.
The moment her mind linked with the ship, the room brightened with energy. Holograms danced across the room, mapping the Titan's core functions. "Whoa!" Jax whispered. "It's like the ship is reading your thoughts."
It is, Elara said.
Her mind moved through systems, adjusting energy flows, testing shields, rerouting power. The Titan responded immediately, reacting to every subtle command. It was fluid, alive, and obedient. But only to her. Zyrith frowned.
It's choosing you over any other species. But why? Humans are fragile. We thought we were the most intelligent species here.
Elara shook her head. "We are adaptable, creative."
Courageous! That's what this ship responds to. Not brute strength, not size, not history. It's the qualities humans have. Alien reactions and doubts as the crew continued testing, alarms suddenly flashed.
The sensors detected alien ships approaching, large war vessels moving through the outer rim toward the Titan. Jax tensed.
Looks like someone noticed us.
Zyrith's eyes narrowed.
Of course they did.
Any species would react if a ship like this suddenly awakened. They will try to take it, destroy it, or use it for themselves.
You can't fight all of them. Alara's mind raced. We don't have to fight like they expect. That's the point. Humans don't just fight. We think, adapt, improvise. Let's see how the Titan reacts under real pressure. She activated another section of the ship, defensive drones designed to intercept attacks.
The drones, controlled by the Titan's AI but guided by Alara's commands, moved with perfect coordination.
Energy barriers rose around the ship, shimmering like glass, ready to deflect any projectile. The approaching alien ship slowed. They had not anticipated such a defensive response. Their weapons scanned the area trying to find a weak point, but every weak point the aliens identified shifted, blocked, or disappeared as the Titan adapted instantly. Proof of human ingenuity. The first contact came in the form of communication beams. Holograms of alien commanders appeared, each one demanding the humans leave the Titan. One even threatened annihilation if they refused. Elara smiled slightly. "They underestimate us," she said. "They assume because we are human, we are weak. That's their mistake." She tapped into the ship's systems, rerouting energy to generate non-lethal pulses that disabled enemy sensors and temporarily jammed their communications. The alien ships faltered, confused by what seemed like impossible technology. "See," Elara said to her crew, "this isn't about firepower. It's about intelligence, strategy, and adaptation. Humans can control the ultimate weapon, not to dominate, but to defend." Zyrith blinked, clearly conflicted. "I don't know whether to be amazed or terrified. This is beyond anything we imagined." Elara nodded. "Both, probably." "That's why we have to be careful, but we also have to learn, explore, and prove what humans can do when faced with something the rest of the galaxy abandoned." A hidden threat. Hours passed. The Titan systems hummed continuously as the crew explored deeper. They discovered storage bays filled with advanced technology, energy weapons, starship blueprints, modules capable of creating artificial gravity, even experimental drones that could adapt in battle. Elara paused before one bay, her hand on a panel. "These systems, they weren't just for defense. This ship could conquer star systems if used wrongly. That's why the galaxy abandoned it." They feared what they could not control. But humans, we can control it. And we will! Jax frowned. "Are we sure this is safe?" "We don't fully understand it yet. One mistake." Elara turned to him.
I know. That's why we proceed carefully.
But doing nothing because we're afraid is how the galaxy failed. Humans adapt. Humans survive. And humans thrive where others fail.
As they explored, the ship suddenly shuddered.
Energy readings spiked, corridors lit up, and holographic screens displayed strange symbols. "Something's happening," Elara said, her heart racing. The central core glowed brighter than ever. Data streams poured into their neural interfaces at speeds faster than any human could normally process. The ship was alive, not just responding, but evolving. It had recognized the humans as its rightful pilots. Zyrith stepped back, eyes wide. It is choosing you. But what does it want? Elara's mind raced. It wants us to learn. To prove ourselves. To awaken its full potential. The first test outside the ship, the crew decided it was time for a bold experiment. They would test the Titan's capabilities in space, not against enemies, but against natural hazards. Asteroid fields, gravitational anomalies, and the radiation storms of the outer rim. The Titan moved with grace, gliding through space as if it had always belonged there. Its defensive shields deflected massive asteroids. Energy conduits redirected power to maintain stability. Drones scanned ahead, clearing paths through dangerous debris. Jax couldn't contain his excitement. "It's perfect! No ship, no fleet, nothing can move like this. And we're controlling it!" Elara kept her focus. "We're not controlling it. We're working with it. The Titan is alive. It listens. It adapts, and we must respect it, or it could be our end instead of our ally." As they navigated the alien ships that had approached earlier retreated, they had underestimated humans controlling the abandoned Titan. The galaxy was watching. unaware that the rules had changed. Part 2 ending. Humanity's potential realized by the end of the first day aboard the Titan. The crew had tested weapons, shields, navigation, and communication systems.
The ship responded seamlessly, revealing capabilities no other species had ever accessed. Elara stood on the bridge, looking at the glowing holographic map of the galaxy.
"This is just the beginning," she said softly. "The galaxy abandoned this ship because they feared it. They thought no one could control it. They were wrong. Humans are different. We adapt.
We think! We innovate!
And now, we hold the key to something greater than anyone imagined." Jax grinned.
"So, what's next, Captain?" Elara's eyes sparkled with determination. "Next, we learn.
We explore. And we prove to the galaxy that humans are not just survivors. We are the future." The Titan pulsed in response, as if agreeing. Humanity had awakened the ultimate superweapon. And the galaxy would never be the same. The Titan drifted silently in the edge of the outer rim, its massive hull glowing faintly against the black canvas of space. Outside, distant stars shone cold and distant, but inside, humanity's spark burned brighter than any supernova. Captain Elara Quinn stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the holographic map. Several fleets had begun converging from nearby systems. Alien warships, large and heavily armed, moved cautiously toward the Titan, unsure what to make of the human-controlled behemoth.
"Looks like they didn't take our warning seriously," Jack said from the co-pilot's seat. "They think we're alone?"
"Weak, human." Elara didn't smile.
"They're about to learn how wrong they are." First contact. The first fleet arrived quietly. Ships of every shape and size, armed to the teeth, glided toward the Titan. They had been watching its activation from afar and now intended to seize the abandoned superweapon before humans could fully understand it. Zyrith, the alien diplomat, frowned.
"You cannot fight all of them, human. This is suicide. They outnumber us hundreds to one."
Elara's eyes narrowed.
"Numbers mean nothing if you think differently. The Titan isn't just a weapon. It's alive. And it's listening to us. We don't fight the way they expect."
The bridge pulsed as the Titan's systems synced with Elara's neural interface. Holographic displays flickered with new options: shields, energy barriers, defensive drones, and offensive systems.
But Elara made a deliberate choice.
She activated the defensive drones and shields, but held back the ship's main weapons.
"This isn't about destruction," she said. "It's about proving we can control it without killing." Jax raised an eyebrow. "You're not scared?" Elara shook her head. "Scared doesn't solve anything. Think." "Adapt. That's what humans do. Human ingenuity in action. The alien fleets fired first. Beams of energy slicing through space toward the Titan. The ship's shields flared, absorbing every shot. But instead of counterattacking with lethal force, Elara rerouted power to the ship's non-lethal systems. Small energy pulses knocked out enemy sensors. Defensive drones intercepted missiles and redirected them harmlessly into space. Navigation systems rerouted energy to create temporary gravitational anomalies, spinning enemy ships in circles without harming their crews. From the outside, it looked chaotic. But to Elara and her crew, it was precision. Every move was calculated, adaptive, and completely unexpected by the attackers. "Look at that!" Jax shouted. "They can't hit us! Every shot misses!" Elara smiled faintly. "Because we're thinking 3 steps ahead. Humans don't just react, we innovate!" Zyrith's eyes widened. "I don't understand. The Titan is responding. To you. To humans. Not just your commands, but your thinking. No other species has ever achieved this." "Exactly," Elara said. "That's why we're here. That's why we survive." The moral edge hours passed. The alien fleets tried every tactic. Brute force, coordinated attacks, overwhelming numbers. The Titan responded to all of them, not with destruction, but with clever maneuvers. Enemy ships found themselves trapped in energy loops, their weapons jammed, and their formations disrupted, all without a single human or alien dying. Zyrith shook his head in disbelief. I have never seen such restraint and such effectiveness. You humans, you fight differently. Elara nodded. We fight to survive. We fight to protect. And sometimes, we fight to teach. The galaxy fears power, but power without wisdom is dangerous. Humans can handle both. Unexpected discovery during the engagement, the Titan sensors detected something unusual, a massive energy spike emanating from a nearby star. It was unstable, a stellar storm that could wipe out entire planets if left unchecked. Captain, Jack said, pointing at the readouts. That storm, it's going to hit inhabited systems in hours. If we don't stop it, Elara's mind raced, then we stop it. Humans don't run from impossible tasks. We solve them. Using the Titan's energy manipulation systems, she rerouted power to form a massive containment field around the star. Beams of focused energy flowed outward, stabilizing the storm, redirecting it safely into empty space. The alien fleet stopped their attacks, watching in stunned silence. A human had controlled the galaxy's most feared superweapon and used it not for conquest, but for protection. Zyrith's voice trembled. You saved lives. With a weapon meant to destroy, you saved.
Elara smiled faintly. That's what humans do.
We survive, yes, but we also rise above. The first real test word spread quickly through the fleets. Messages from other alien empires reached the Titan. Humans were in control. The abandoned superweapon was alive, and it had chosen humans. Many were afraid, some curious. But then, a new threat emerged. A warlord fleet from a distant system, larger and more heavily armed than anything the Titan had faced, approached with full intent to destroy or seize it. Unlike the earlier fleets, they were reckless, confident, and brutal. Captain, Jack said, this one isn't scared. They'll fight to the last ship. Elara's eyes glimmered with determination. Good. Then we'll show them why humans are different. The battle began. Energy beams cut through space, missiles streaked toward the Titan, and alien warships executed complex attack patterns. But the Titan moved like a living being, responding instantly to Elara's neural commands. Shields adjusted, drones intercepted attacks, and energy pulses disabled weapon systems without harming crews. Elara coordinated every action like a chess master. Jax handled navigation, Zyrith calculated enemy maneuvers, and the rest of the crew monitored the ship's systems. Together, human and alien, they guided the Titan through impossible scenarios. The warlord fleet's confidence faltered. Their ships could not land a single hit. Systems overloaded. Weapons jammed. And yet no lives were lost. This is insane, one alien commander said over communication. How can one human do this? Elara looked at the holographic map. Not one human. Humanity. Our crew. Our minds. Our will. That's why the ship responded to us. Proving humanity after hours of strategic maneuvers, the warlord fleet retreated. Their pride shattered, they left with a new understanding. Humans were not just survivors. Humans could adapt, innovate, and command what no other species could. Elara looked at her crew. We've done more than survive today. We've proven that humans can handle power, responsibility, and intelligence where others fail. That is what makes us extraordinary. Jax laughed softly. Extraordinary. I like that. Zyrith, still in shock, nodded. The galaxy will remember this. Humans, you are not like the rest. You think differently. You act differently. You rise above. Elara placed her hand on the Titan's main console. The ship responded with a warm glow, almost like a nod. And we're only getting started, she said softly. The bond between human and machine that night, the bridge was quiet. The battle was over.
but the ship still pulsed with life.
Elara remained connected to the neural interface, feeling the Titan's heartbeat as her own. "I think it trusts us," Jax said, breaking the silence. "It's like it knows we're humans, and we understand it in ways no one else could." Elara nodded. "Trust is earned. The Titan abandoned the galaxy because others feared it. But humans, we earned its trust. That's why it chose us." Xyrith stepped closer. "Do you think it could ever choose another species?" Elara shook her head.
No.
"Not like this. It needs adaptability, creativity, courage. And that's why humans are different. That's why we survive." Looking ahead as the Titan floated in the outer rim, the crew prepared for the next challenge. "More fleets would come! The galaxy would not stay silent forever!" But they were ready. Humans had shown that they could think, adapt, and rise above. Elara gazed at the stars. "We've proven ourselves today. But this is only the beginning. The Titan is ours to explore, to understand, and to use wisely. The galaxy underestimated us, and that was its first mistake. They will not make the same mistake again." Jax grinned. "So, ready for round 2? Elara smiled. "Always. Humans don't wait for destiny, we create it." The Titan pulsed, alive and aware, its energy flowing in harmony with the humans who now controlled it. Together, they were more than a crew. They were the spark that would change the galaxy forever. The Titan floated in the black void at the edge of the galaxy, its massive hull glowing like a sentinel of light against the endless darkness. Captain Elara Quinn stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the holographic map. Messages from countless alien civilizations had flooded in, warnings, threats, pleas, but the humans aboard the Titan knew one thing: the galaxy had never faced anything like this before. "This is it," Elara said quietly. "They've sent everything they have." Jax leaned forward in his seat, tension written across his face. "How many ships are we talking about?" "Too many to count," Xyrith replied. His multifaceted eyes flickered in the dim light. "Every major fleet in this sector—" "They think they can take the Titan, and us. They're wrong." Elara's hand rested lightly on the neural interface panel. The Titan pulsed under her touch, as if sensing her determination. "It's not just about fighting. It's about thinking differently. Humans rise above. That's what we'll show them today." The final threat arrives. A massive fleet appeared on the sensors. Thousands of ships of every type, from heavily armored battleships to fast-strike vessels, moved in formation. The warlord fleet from the previous encounter had called for reinforcements, convinced they could overwhelm the humans with sheer numbers. Elara studied the map, tracing possible attack paths. "They'll focus on our weak points first," she said. "They think the Titan is just a weapon, but it's alive. It adapts, and we adapt with it." Jack swallowed nervously. "And if we can't," Elara shook her head, "we will. Humans survive when others fail. Humans think, adapt, and create solutions no one else can. That's why the Titan chose us." Xyrith, standing beside them, muttered, "I am beginning to understand. The galaxy underestimated humans." The battle begins. The enemy fired first. Beams of energy lit up space, missiles streaked toward the Titan, and vast formations tried to encircle the superweapon. But Elara and her crew did not panic. The Titan moved with precision. Defensive shields flared, energy barriers rerouted attacks, and drones intercepted incoming projectiles. But instead of simply blocking, Elara used the ship's systems to manipulate space itself. Gravitational anomalies spun enemy ships into chaotic orbits, and energy pulses temporarily disabled weapon systems without harming crews. Jax couldn't hide his excitement. "They don't even know what's happening. Their whole fleet is confused." Elara nodded. "Exactly. Humans don't fight like the rest. We think differently. That's why we survive. And thrive." demonstrating human ingenuity. Hours passed. The enemy fleet tried every tactic imaginable, coordinated strikes, overwhelming numbers, electronic warfare, but nothing worked.
Every attack was countered with human creativity, intelligence, and adaptation. The Titan responded instantly to every move, flowing like water, adjusting energy, shields, and drones in real time.
Jax plotted trajectories that would confuse the enemy. Xyrith monitored alien communications, helping predict their next moves. Every crew member played a vital role in guiding the Titan, proving that human collaboration could achieve what no single alien empire had ever managed. One enemy admiral attempted a direct assault, sending a fleet through a narrow asteroid field to trap the Titan. But Alara anticipated it. Using energy pulses and controlled gravitational fields, she redirected the asteroids, turning the enemy's trap into a snare. Their ships collided, stalled, and retreated in confusion. Humans think faster than they can react, one alien commander admitted over comms.
Impossible, Ilara smirked. Not impossible.
Human den. A moral victory as the battle raged. Ilara realized that destruction was not the answer. The Titan could annihilate entire fleets with a single pulse, but humans did not fight to destroy. They fought to survive and to prove their potential. She activated the ship's non-lethal systems, using energy pulses to jam weapons, disable engines, and create obstacles. Entire fleets were immobilized without a single casualty. The galaxy watched in awe as humans controlled the ultimate superweapon, proving that true strength was not just in power, but in wisdom and restraint. Xyrith's eyes glimmered with awe. You are different. You fight with your mind, and with honor. Alara nodded. That's humanity. Power alone means nothing if you cannot control it wisely. That's why we rise above the rest. The enemy strikes boldly then. The warlord's flagship appeared, a colossal battleship bristling with weapons, engines glowing red. It moved straight for the Titan, intent on a final devastating strike. Brace for impact, Jax muttered. This is it. Ilara's hands danced across the console. She did not panic. We've faced worse. Trust the ship. Trust each other. Humans think differently. That's our edge. The Titan responded like a living being. Its energy flowed outward, forming a massive shield that absorbed the warlord's fire. Drones intercepted missiles mid-flight. Then, in a bold move, Ilara rerouted energy to create a localized gravitational pulse, spinning the enemy flagship out of formation. The other ships lost coordination instantly. Now! Ilara shouted. The Titan released a controlled energy wave, not to destroy, but to disable engines and weapons. The flagship spun helplessly. Its crew had no choice but to surrender. For the first time, the galaxy saw humans wielding the ultimate superweapon with intelligence, restraint, and precision. Proving humanity to the galaxy after the battle. The alien fleets held back. Communications arrived. Messages of fear, curiosity, and respect. Many admitted they had underestimated humans. Some pledged alliances. Others simply observed in silence, awed by what had been achieved. Ilara stood on the bridge, looking at the stars. The Titan pulsed in harmony with her, its power immense but controlled. We've done more than survive, she said softly. We've proven that humans can master power, think differently, and rise above. Jax grinned. So, what now? Take the galaxy by storm!
Ilara shook her head.
No! We show them the way humans use power, wisely. We protect, not conquer. We innovate, not destroy. That's what makes us strong. That's what makes us human. Xyrith, still in awe, said, the galaxy will remember this day. Humanity, you are not like the rest. You have proven yourselves beyond anything we imagined. The Titan's true potential days passed. The Titan remained on the edge of the galaxy, a silent guardian. Elara and her crew explored its systems, uncovering technologies that could revolutionize travel, defense, and energy production. The ship's AI, now fully awakened, communicated with them more clearly. It had learned from humans, evolving alongside them. Where alien species had failed, humans adapted, and the Titan recognized their ingenuity as unique. Elara touched the main console, feeling the Titan's heartbeat.
"We didn't just find a weapon," she said.
We found a partner. Something the galaxy abandoned because it feared it couldn't control it. But humans, we can, and we'll use it to protect, not destroy. A new era begins. Reports arrived from the galaxy. Humans had awakened the ultimate superweapon, survived impossible odds, and emerged victorious without a single unnecessary death. Entire civilizations watched, realizing that humanity was more than clever. They were capable of mastering what others feared.
Elara gathered her crew on the bridge.
Today, we've proven one thing. Humans don't just survive. We adapt. We innovate. We rise above. The galaxy underestimated us. That was their first mistake. They will not make the same mistake again. The crew cheered softly. Not loud celebrations. This was not victory for power or conquest. It was victory for ingenuity, courage, and morality. The Titan pulsed once more, glowing brighter than ever. Its systems hummed in perfect harmony with the humans who controlled it. Together, they were more than a crew. They were a symbol. Humanity, clever, brave, and moral, had claimed its place in the galaxy. Elara looked at the stars, smiling. We've done it. And this is only the beginning. Outside, the galaxy waited, watching, learning, and perhaps fearing the species that had awakened the abandoned Titan. But humanity had proven one undeniable truth. When humans are faced with the impossible, they do not surrender. They rise.
They adapt, they triumph.
And the abandoned Titan, the ultimate superweapon of legends, had finally found its rightful masters.